What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Today we have some big NHL 19 news. Big, that is, if you are playing the Hut Champs, the competitive seasons in the Hut department. And that is where EA put in a quick patch here. If you back out of a Hut Champs game, a Comp Seasons game, once you're in the loading screen, you know, once you ready up your search and it's like, da-da-da-da, you're playing versus this guy, which now it doesn't even say that. It just says you're playing NHL logo. If you back out, once that screen pops up or any time further, it is going to give you the L. You're going to get the loss. And initially, my first thought was this. Great. Do it. Congratulations. Quit giving people reasons to back out. People reasons to quote-unquote scrub hunt, not play good players, not play good teams. But you know what? I've started to take in a lot of the mixed opinions from everybody else. And we're going to do our best to look at both sides of the spectrum on this one. And first off, I have to say this. Fortnite. I know it's not on the same level server-wise, comparative-wise, in any sort of manner at all. Not even close. We're not even going to compare that. But does it have a connection bar when the game starts? Maybe it does have a connection bar and I don't know about it. I don't know. Never really paid attention. But it's stuff like that where it's like, there are so many games that don't have a connection bar, a ping bar. I've never seen somebody complain about not having. But we lose an NHL 19, it's like World War III over there. It's stuff like that that has me thinking, like, are people complaining just to complain, or do they actually have a point? And for those of you not completely familiar with the issue, the main issue here is people are Rage Against the Machine mad that they can no longer check connection before the game starts, check their ping, check if they're green bar in it. But personally for me, and it is my personal experience, guy that lives in the sticks with not a lot of internet options and the best internet speed for the longest time there was like 15 megabyte download. That wasn't that long ago really at all. Heck, I can remember playing a couple years ago, playing on 5 megs download, 3 megs download. It's obviously better now, thankfully. But I mention that because I can relate to bad internet and some problems people are going to be having on that front. But dedicated servers mean it is your connection to EA servers, not your connection to your opponent. So if you're lagging, it's strictly your internet's fault. And I bring all this up because ever since the dedicated server stuff, to be completely honest, I've had a green bar connection in every single game I've played. And I know there's so many people with far better internet than I got, and I've had a problem. The only time I played this year since the dedicated servers were implemented where I actually didn't have a green bar connection is when I was, you know, downloading a game or I was playing on wireless. Don't play on wireless. That's a terrible idea. Why I try that? But I don't intentionally try it, but when I switch my wireless from whatever, not the point. Switching it from PlayStation, not the point. But my connection's bad because of something on my end. And if it's something on my end, and if it's something on your end, if you're really that concerned about your game connection before the game starts, you can go to your settings, you can run a speed test, you can check the stats. Problem solved, right? Like, at some point we have to turn around and be like, well, what can I do instead of complaining about EA doing something I didn't like, right? But then you go and you look at the other side of things. Like I said, we're going to look at both sides of the spectrum. And a lot of you guys are right on one front. EA servers are not good. EA does listen to a small minority of people's voices more than they do others. If you follow social media closely enough, you can go out there and get a general idea of who those people are and why EA has not brought back connected franchise. That's besides the point. There's community frustration around it nonetheless because people are saying how this update panders to the small minority of good players and so on and so forth. But what I have to say about that is this. I've had people back out to me numerous times this year. Numerous. Far more times than I've had internet problems where I have to back out because of bad connection. I can tell you that is for sure. And I have to say this. I am bad. Bad. I'm terrible at Hut. It's not a secret. That's like a bad with 13 Ds at the end of it. But there was a point in time where I played Hut and I had an All Legends first line. So people saw that All Legends first line and they backed out. Backing out has been an issue for years and years now, where you see good players, good player models, whatever, any sort of advantage you can get by backing out, people take advantage of it. It doesn't matter if they've heard of you, they haven't heard of you. They see your, you know, back in the day it was the player models. If you've seen the player model and had the 99 tries, that was backing out. You couldn't get a game because people seen your player models. People still do that to this day, but they do it in the, you know, the puck drop screen where they see your first line, they see your 3 players, like, nope, not playing that guy, gone. So I'm happy to see that that is gone. You can't do that. And I think that's something that has to be avoided. So I do feel like it is a little bit unfair to say that this only benefits a small group of people. But I do want to go back to the EA servers problem. It is a problem. People are absolutely right. It's a serious problem. If you're on an East Coast connection, playing against someone on the West Coast and the West Coast server hosts the game, or the East Coast connection hosts the game and the East Coast player, whatever, vice versa, back and forth. The West Coast guy or the East Coast guy, whoever's on that home quote-unquote connection, they have a distinct advantage in the game. And that's something that's been a serious problem now for years. It's been, you know, in ESHL, not in HUT, because HUT was peer-to-peer until this season. But I couldn't agree more with people that are frustrated with, you know, the connection issues for that reason. Because you're seriously stuck, at least, again, personal experience. I'm stuck on a 90-plus ping. It used to be 60 or 50 or 60, but now that they, whatever their ping update was, da-da-da-da-da, was only showing half your ping. However that went on. Now it's 90-plus when I play a West Coast player on a West Coast server or whatever. And that's a serious problem. Because you do play on, you know, half a second delay, a second and a half, and that definitely does, at the end of the day, it's hard to argue that doesn't give one person an advantage when you're playing. You got to guess the person's moves a second ahead of time or you're just going to get burned. But East Coast, West Coast, Indonesian coast, no matter what server it is, again, personal experience, my connection's always a green bar. It's always just been a ping problem. So removing the little 3 bars isn't really going to hurt anything from that standpoint, I don't think. But what fixes this problem, right? We bring all this up. What's the real fix? First of all, matchmaking settings. I didn't even realize it because, like I said, I don't play HUD enough. I really don't because I'm not good at it, being quite frank. But if you play ESHL, there's a best game location, a best server location setting where you can set that to exact so you don't have the above problem where you're not getting stuck playing West Coast guys or you're not getting stuck playing European guys when you're on an East Coast connection or so on and so forth. Flip the roles around, right? But that's not in HUD Champs. I couldn't believe that wasn't in HUT Champs. I'm surprised it's not. That would fix that problem. At least I would assume that would fix that problem. There is the occasional matchmaking errors they still do have where they match you up with guys you shouldn't have been matching up with. For that reason, though, I completely agree with people. You have every reason to not be happy with this update because of that. I would be beyond mad if I was ranked 20th in comp seasons and I matched up with a West Coast guy ranked like 300th and he beat me because I was lagging all over the place because my ping was high all game. Like I said, could have a green bar connection, still be bouncing all over the place because of the ping. So I do feel for you guys on that one. And at the end of the day, in my unbiased opinion, I do think EA made the right move on making it count as a loss once the games load up, and I commend them for that. I mean, at the end of the day, whether it took long, it didn't take long, we had to be happy they're at least trying to address a lot of these waning issues that people are having trying to play games. But here's the problem we're having right now is it's not just this, it's one of these things where I'm not trying to sit here and bash on EA. That's not the point of this video. It's just I'm pointing out what I see, and it's not thought out updates. There's no better way to put it than they aren't thinking through these updates. Because here's the other problem I've seen a lot of people have, I've had the problem too, is people have legitimate loading screen error problems during loading screens where you get that black screen before the game even starts and it says lost connection. I can't tell you, I can tell you firsthand, I know that's happened to me multiple times. I know a lot of people have had that same problem this year. Call it a bug, a glitch in the game. That is an EA problem that is now giving people losses because of this new update. The update's fantastic. It is groundbreaking. I will call it groundbreaking, but it is not implemented properly. It is not thought through, and it has to be implemented properly and thought through properly to be executed. It can't be executed with the current state NHL's in right now. There's too many other problems. For one, there's going to be people that are upset with this update because there's raggers, there's cheaters, there's exploiters, there's people you just quite simply do not want to play in this game because of the way they play. Well, guess what? That's something that EA should be addressing, not our problem. You shouldn't be able to sit there and rag the puck in your own zone for 30 seconds. Find a way to patch that. We play the game. Find a way to stop it. Don't tell me there isn't a way to stop it, because you can do something. For crying out loud, we can spin circles like a ballerina. We can put something unrealistic in the game that prevents puck ragging. But is that something we should look at this update and be mad about? No, that should be something that was addressed with this update or before this update, so it wasn't a problem. Just like the connection issues. You still need to have a way to, make sure you're playing on ideal connection, where you either add, a connection settings screen like we mentioned before, where you can set that sucker to exact, so you're not matching up with people from like 6,500 years away, and you have bad internet connection. But the easiest solution of them all, at least to me, you guys could let me know what you're thinking about it, is just bring back the ready up screens like you had in NHL 17, NHL 16. You guys remember the screens, right? It bring up the player model, it bring up, their gamer tags are ready up. You hit ready, you can change your game settings, you can change your lines. Once you'd ready up though, then it would load you into the game. Bring that back, but get rid of the player models, get rid of the gamer tags, because that's the reason they got rid of it in the first place. Because people could see your gamer tags, they could see your player models, and like I brought up before, they'd back out. Any advantage people could get, they would back out. Get rid of all that nonsense, just give yourselves the ready up button, give people the ability to see their connection, give people the ability to see their ping, and that's it. You know, they can edit their lines too, I guess they won't, but don't show anything that has to do with the other person's team. Just your personal connection stuff. Get rid of everything else. Just, you know, hit ready. Here's your connection. You're ready to play. Yes, ready up, and then load into the game. The second you ready up from there, that is when you're going to go, and obviously if you back out anywhere past that point, you lose. I feel like that's a solution. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't see why that would not work. That might be something that you can't patch in the game, though. I'm not really too sure on that one. I don't program the game. I didn't know. I just talk about it. Otherwise, though, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys are thinking about the update. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.